was alive 2 weeks ago.
If she had to go through what I did when they took me, it would be like nothing you can imagine.
You up? You didn't say anything about tattoos.
Imagine if I showed up at your little church looking like this.
Really shouldn't be following us, man. Stupid. Now you're gonna show the ladies some respect.
They bring children here. In the end, they're killed. They keep some like me.
Let's send Cyrus a message.
What's going on YouTube? We back in the Low Key Cave, Keyshawn Nimes YouTube page, aka Mr. Low Key, and we back with another movie review. This time around, we got God is a Bullet, starring my boy Nicholas Castor-Waldau. I just know him as Jamie from Game of Thrones, so I'm gonna just say Jamie from Game of Thrones and Jamie Foxx. I am not familiar with the young lady Malika Monroe or Mania Monroe. I'm sorry if I'm not saying her name right because I'm looking at the credits right here at the top. But I really enjoyed her performance. That's what I will say. The young lady that's playing Case in the movie. This movie, we're introduced to a character named Bob, who's the sheriff, and just so happened his family ends up getting into a situation where his wife is brutally, very brutally killed by some type of cult, and his daughter is kidnapped. Jump from the opening sequence, we got this whole situation where this young girl is being kidnapped, and then we transition to modern times, and we see that this young lady is this woman who has played Case, this girl named Case. We pretty much got a story we following as Bob is trying to find his daughter, and he is using the help of this girl Case, who has just left the cult that kidnapped his daughter, and she was supposedly going to rehab or whatever. So diving into this, man, it seemed like it said something about based on true events or true story or something like that, but if we sit here talking about this actual movie, this is a lot of over the top shit where I was like, I ain't gonna say it's no way that this certain shit could not go this way, because you gotta understand what type of America we living in, but at the same time, it's like, I think I'm more talking about just the way they go about basically this two-man army as far as just Bob and Case going up against pretty much this whole elite damn near group as far as this cult ran by this guy named Cyrus. That's another thing too as far as the movie goes. I think I would have got more engaged or more, especially with Case. She's the main character that I'm following anyway, even outside of Bob and his whole story with him trying to not necessarily get revenge, but get his daughter back, which I was following his story too, but it's more so a case being that she was the young girl that was kidnapped at the beginning. And I was kind of wanting to see a little bit of that backstory, even though I can already use my imagination, but it's more so of giving me her drive, because her performance is phenomenal. I actually really, really enjoy her performance, but sometimes it just felt like they was going almost like the Rob Zombie route. You know, like the Devil's Rejects or House of 1,000 Corpse, man. I'm serious. Sometimes it just felt like that's kind of the route they was taking, because outside of this supposed to be in some type of thriller, it almost turned into somewhat of a slasher. But even with the whole thing with the cult or whatever, you never really get so much from them. All we getting is this villainous ways of them. All you seeing is chaos with them. And I feel like if we would have got a little bit more backstory with them, even outside the case, maybe even a little bit more with Cyrus, I think the story would have been a little bit more well driven, especially with the motivation, because it's even at times where I feel like Bob, he wasn't really that motivated. Like, honestly, this man is out here looking for his daughter who was kidnapped by a crazy ass looking cult. Like, I'm going insane, nigga. I'm out here like, I don't give a fuck what I gotta do. I need to know what I need to do. Shout out to Jamie Foxx, man. He is playing this guy called the Ferryman, and he's not really in the movie like that, but the scenes he does have, I mean, they straight. Ain't nothing too crazy. I mean, he's not doing nothing really too crazy. It's this thing with him having this like one arm or whatever, and outside of that, kind of this whole philosophies that he be saying to Case and Bob or whatever. But he's somewhat of a mentor for Case, somewhat. Because I think he's a person who do tattoos for the cult or whatever. But anyway, man, he plays a minimum role. He's not really in it too much, but he is here and there or whatever. But, I mean, ain't nothing really wrong with his role or whatever. I was good to see Jamie kind of playing this type of role, but it didn't do nothing to make me say that's not Jamie Foxx. Outside of that, man, it's more so of this whole thing with Bob trying to get his daughter back from this leader of this group called Cyrus. And once again, I didn't mind his motivation. I almost wanted to get that feel of taking, but that's what I'm saying. I never really got that urge from him for me. Like, going into the end is kind of where it was like, okay, now he kind of could see that he has that urge. And that ending, man, this is a very violent movie. It's a very violent movie. And outside I feeling like it kind of having these over-the-top moments, the action in here, like, it wasn't bad for me. It's some, like, CGI scenes in here that kind of was like, but going into that ending, because I was like, how the fuck is they supposed to do this, bro? Ain't no way y'all gonna make me believe that only these two people about to do what they about to do, and they actually kind of make it work. I mean, they almost got onto some, like, the way they moving kind of stealthy, especially Case. Case is probably my favorite, definitely my favorite character of this movie, especially at that ending. And that's why I feel like this is definitely Case's story outside of Bob and his motivation for getting his daughter back. But it's just so much kind of over the top scenes, and the dialogue sometimes is like, But the whole thing with even Cyrus, because my whole thing with cult movies is give me a little bit of more reasoning of why people are following this certain individual. I mean, I just need a little bit of some reasoning. And like I said, I feel like if they would have brought a little bit more emotion to this movie, if we would have got a couple more backstory scenes with Cyrus and Case, because them being kind of this whole thing with him kind of having like some type of like obsession with Case. It seemed like everybody in the goddamn cult had some type of obsession with Case. Like, why her out of everybody that y'all already got or y'all been kidnapping over the years? But as far as the way she played her position and her motivation, that's my drive as far as this movie, because she was the one that was kidnapped as a little girl, took her away from her family, and the fact that now she's trying to help this guy get his daughter back because he don't want her daughter going through the same thing that she had to go through. That's why I was more so here for her than Bob. And I did want to see him get his daughter back, but I'm saying she kind of gave me more of an urgency than him. He didn't feel like he had too much of an urgency. It almost felt like times that he was so flirting with her instead of looking for his daughter. One thing I did enjoy is the chemistry between Bob and Case. That was a key point in here, and that what kind of kept me going and wanting to see them succeed, and I didn't want to see nothing happen to them. Outside of that, man, I mean, these villains, as far as the code, they are goddamn stereotypical as fuck, man. Once again, it almost took me to goddamn the Rob Zombie horror movies, as far as like the Devil's Rejects and like I said earlier, House of a Thousand Corpses. They was coming with on that level, because I feel like we don't get enough with them, especially with the main villain Cyrus or whatever. Overall though, I enjoyed more so than anything the action, because I just feel like there's certain moments in here where they didn't have to do certain things, but they wanted to make sure they showed just how extreme and how goddamn evil this cult is, and they had to show certain things. And once again, even when y'all was trying to, I feel like at times be shock value, like it was probably, oh, you see that? It was one so like, I mean, once again, there's movies we done seen that's kind of done did these people pivotal points. My thing is, if you would have had a certain motivation behind these scenes or a certain urgency behind these scenes, they would have had more of an impact, but they don't, because it's really somewhat of no build up to them. And once we get, like I said, the ending of this, I feel like it had somewhat of a build up, but it was just certain things that kept going on where it was like, why are y'all even going through all of this? So you want to do this with him, you're going to make this deal, right? But then y'all going to renege for what? Why not even just take him? I mean, what's the point? Some of the things, just, to me, especially at the end, when they trying to make this certain deal or whatever, it didn't kind of make sense, because y'all could have just took them out. Y'all could have just took them out. That would have been the end of the movie. But I get it, man. We gotta have a movie still. We gotta still have a movie. Outside of that, though, this is not the best movie, but for what they are trying to do, it kind of works. Like I said, let alone if you just come here for the action, you're gonna be good. I'm telling you, especially going into this end. Like, this ending almost went into some territory like some Michael Mann Heat shit, or even damn, what's my other man? I can't think of it right now, but it's one of those endings where shit just go crazy and go ham, and this violence upon violence, topped on violence, man. I'm trying to tell you, like, limbs are being blown off, limbs. But outside of that, man, let me know if y'all have had a chance to check out God is a Bullet. Let me know how y'all feel about it. It's definitely one of those ultra-violent movies. I almost feel like they was trying to make this a NC-17 type of movie, almost. But y'all let me know if y'all had a chance to check this out. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell, let you know when I upload new videos. Other than that, we out.